The House released a 500-page report on COVID-19 pandemic. Key findings: COVID-19 likely originated from a lab-related incident in Wuhan, China. Crazy. You get banned from YouTube for saying that. Banned. Okay, over $200 billion in relief funds lost to fraud, with criminals exploiting weak oversight. Prolonged lockdowns and arbitrary mandates cause severe harm, economic devastation, mental health crises, and historic learning loss, while lacking robust scientific support. Policies ignored natural immunity, pushing mandates that eroded trust and harmed public perception of science. Absolutely. WHO and CDC compromised by political interference, offering inconsistent, unscientific guidance that fueled public distrust. And the key players included federal agencies, and Cuomo's administration actively obstructed oversight efforts and hid critical evidence.
Christ.
Select subcommittee on coronavirus pandemic basically said all the conspiracy theorists were correct. Every single one of them. No repercussions, no retractions, no apology from Rachel Maddow. None of it.
Yes, a 500-page report by the House that earns very little national press, stating that everything that the governments, the state governments, the federal government did during the pandemic was incorrect. Yes, as Joe said, if you pointed out the fact that it likely came from the Wuhan lab in China, because that went against the narrative that they wanted to push, you would be excommunicated from YouTube and Facebook. Your channel would get strikes. My channel got strikes for things that, in fact, I was correct about the virus. Yes, if you target one narrow part of the virus, as I said, it's very likely that the virus will mutate in order to overcome it, because this is an evolutionary response. For this, I was given a strike for stating that it likely came from the Wuhan laboratory early on. Strike 2! I probably almost got 3 strikes, except I waited a little while before those strikes added up to my channel being completely decapitated. Aside of that fact, they were wrong about everything. They lied to you. Just remember that when they try to claim that everything is disinformation and that they, as the government, need to be able to control the narrative. This is actually how ideas win. They fight in public. And when you censor one side, when you suppress it, in order to advance your narrative, you are undermining the bedrock of democracy, which is that the best ideas should win out and should not have the government forcing one set of ideas down your throat. And if Kamala Harris had won, I assure you that the First Amendment would have taken many blows, that they would have found a way to eliminate Twitter and X and Elon Musk, that it would have been an existential threat to our right to express ourselves. Just take a look at what happens in England when you are arrested for a hate crime for a tweet. Nothing acted out, no violence happened because of it, but they will take you into prison. When if you are silently praying, silently, in front of an abortion clinic, you go to jail. But of course, if you're Muslim, you can shut down entire city streets with a prayer, a call to prayer, where hundreds of people will sit there and turn towards Mecca and lower themselves to the ground to show their fealty to the Islamic religion, the same way that the UK government does when they have a two-tiered justice system, two-tier tier. Freedom of speech is the most important right that a human being has. And we should thank our founding fathers and God that we have it here in America. And the fact that the government shut everybody down, that they did so much damage to children for 2 years in California. They had no school. Imagine being at home with 3 kids in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment and being forced to stay in there with them rather than sending them to be educated and having some time in order to make money and work and to be able to think. We have 4 kids and we have a little bit of wealth, and we have a hard time when they're all here, when they're all demanding our attention. And this is the state forcing poor parents to do this, because you can never be too safe, and they were wrong about everything. Please remember that the next time they demand that you listen to the narrative that they want you to adopt. And where does this come from? This comes from the illiberal left that used to be in favor of free speech, but now wants to shut it down because they want to control you. Never let anybody control your thoughts and actions. You decide based on the evidence that's presented to you with an open mind what it is that is best for you. And the government narrative can go F itself because it's about control.